Hello everyone, my name is CM Freeze, and if you know anything about me, then you'll know that I am a die-hard Atlanta Falcons fan. I just typically love all the Georgia teams, but that's irrelevant for right now. It's time to get into the Atlanta Falcons Week 1 game. It has officially been 24 hours since the game, so I've had time to digest the game, look at some film, look at what some other people are saying, and give my full analysis on our Week 1 game against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, my official thoughts are this sucks. That's my big thought is this sucks. I've seen a lot of people say do not overreact, it's week 1, which you know what? I completely agree with that. It's just week 1. A lot of things can happen. There are a lot of teams that look bad in the first week and still come out on top. Hell, the Chiefs lost last year in week 1 to the Detroit Lions, and they still ended up making it to the playoffs and winning the Super Bowl. So it's just 1 week. However, on the flip side, it was a really, really, really bad week 1. Offensively, it was absolutely disgusting. The offense was just absolutely atrocious. The defense was okay. The defense wasn't terrible, but it's not like the defense was great either. You could say, well, Cameron, they only scored 18 points. Which, you know what? That is the good thing that the defense did, is that they held them to only 18 points. Besides that, though, the defense didn't really do a whole much of anything else. And I will get to that later in my analysis. But first thing I want to just go over here is the drives that happened in the game. Now, first half, we went field goal, interception, punt, touchdown. Only had 4 drives. And you know what? For a first half where none of our guys have played an actual game yet, this is Kirk Cousins. He's coming off his Achilles injury. This is his first game since his Achilles injury. I would say, you know what? I'll take it. I'm not happy with it, but I'll take it. Our first drive, we literally got all the way down to the 5-yard line, I think. Or 6-yard line. We literally got all the way down to the 6. We had first and goal on the 10, couldn't score, which that was concerning. That definitely was concerning that our first drive ended up with us making it all the way down to the 10-yard line, first and 10, and we couldn't score. That's something that we've seen for a long time now. I don't know why the Falcons have always been so bad at scoring in the red zone, but it just is. Second drive, Cousins threw an absolutely horrendous interception. And I think I can actually pull it up here. Yeah, just look at this interception from Kirk Cousins here. He's scanning, he's surveying, literally throws it into double coverage. He's getting hit, but it's like, you can't make that throw, man. Throw the ball away or find someone else. The worst part here is if you re-look at this throw, he's got Bijan wide open here for a first down. Literally just throw it to Bijan. Or he's got Pitts right now. You can either throw it to Pitts or you can throw it to Bijan. Now, this guy here is covering Pitts, so he would have to throw it over the top, but literally just dump it down to Bijan Robinson here. Yes, he's not looking at all, but here's also Tyler Algier. Throw it to one of these two guys. It's 2nd and 1. Terrible interception by Kirk Cousins there. Then we punt, we make it to midfield and have to punt, and then we end up with an excellent final drive where we throw a touchdown pass to Kyle Pitts, who's wide open in the end zone. And you know what? We score 10 points. Defensively, we go field goal, punt, field goal. And this last field goal really killed us. The Pittsburgh Steelers only had 32 seconds and 1 timeout. And they make an excellent play to George Pickens. And that's another thing I want to go over, is A.J. Terrell was getting crushed by George Pickens, which is not good. That is not good at all. When we originally signed A.J. Terrell to his contract, he became the 2nd highest paid corner in the league. Now, since then, Patrick Surtain and Jalen Ramsey has passed him, so now A.J. Terrell is the 4th highest paid corner in the league, but A.J. Terrell was getting burned. Actually, let's look at this play here, where A.J. Terrell, it gets absolutely destroyed by George Pickens at one-on-one. George Pickens is just faster than him. He just beats him to the ball. A.J. Terrell, and that was happening all day. All day, George Pickens was just destroying A.J. Terrell. We go to the box score here. George Pickens, 6 catches, 85 yards, and I believe most of that was man-to-man with A.J. Terrell. So A.J. Terrell, very disappointing, especially after we just signed him to a massive contract. He's supposed to be locking down George Pickens with the 4th overall highest paid corner money. That's not what was happening, though. But the rest of the defense actually was doing really well. The biggest thing I would say was our pass rush was just not there. But the rest of our secondary was actually doing really good. Jesse Bates and Justin Simmons both made some really good plays. But you know what? It's 10-9 at halftime. It should be 10-6. Our defense just allowed a big play to George Pickens. Just broken coverage, unexcusable. But you know what? We're still up 10-9 at halftime. And to start the second half, our defense makes the Pittsburgh Steelers go 3-and-out. Grady Jarrett got an excellent sack on Justin Fields on this drive. One of 2 sacks on the day, which, you know what? 2 sacks is okay. I would take 2 sacks a game. I don't mind that at all. And we got 2 sacks. Grady Jarrett got a big-time sack. And then here on this drive, we were driving a little bit. We just had an excellent 4th-and-1 play for 10 yards. And now we have a 1st-and-10 on the Pittsburgh Steelers 32. And on this fumble play, Kirk Cousins motions the man too early. So basically how the play worked, it was a silent count. So our right guard, Chris Lindstrom, tapped our center. And as soon as he tapped our center went in his head 1, 2, and then hiked the ball. Well, Kirk Cousins motioned the man too late. So when our center hit 2 and was supposed to hike the ball, he hiked the ball as our motion man was running. And it hit the motion man in the arms and went up right into the arms of TJ Watt. And boom, we killed a good drive that we were putting together where we just had a 4th-and-1 conversion. We're on Pittsburgh 32. We were at least getting a field goal attempt on the drive, which Koo probably would have hit. And I'm not saying that would have won us the game because we lost by 8. But imagine if we ended up scoring a touchdown on this drive. We were on the Steelers 32. We score a touchdown on this drive or any points on this drive. I feel like it changes the course of the game because then after this fumble, we went punt, 3-and-out, interception, and this drive doesn't really count because we were down by 8 with 28 seconds left and no timeouts. This was a nothing drive. So after this fumble, we did nothing. We did absolutely nothing after this fumble, and the second half offense was absolutely atrocious. 0 points. 0 points. We got a grand total of 28 total yards in the second half. I'm not even making that up. First drive, 13 yards, then 0, -5, 7, 13. You add that up, we had 28 total yards of offense in the second half on 5 drives. We only picked up 3 first downs, 1 per drive. We only picked up 1 first down in our first drive, 1 first down in our second drive, and 1 first down on our interception drive. That's right, 3 first downs, 28 total yards, 0 points. We did nothing in the second half of the game, and it was absolutely atrocious offensively. And that's what really ticks me off, is our offense was supposed to be a lot better. Zach Robinson was supposed to come in and be a great OC for us, bring over the Sean McVay system. Kirk Cousins was supposed to be ready to go. Drake London, Kyle Pitts, all these guys were supposed to be phenomenal, and they weren't. And yes, it's just week 1. It's just week 1. There's going to be some rust. There's going to be some things that we need to get going. But we've had all off-season, man. We've had the entire off-season. We've had months of training. So yes, it's week 1, and yes, it's the first time where it's real motion. But are you going to sit here and tell me that in training camp they aren't giving it their 100% and doing real game simulations? They are. We had joint practices with other teams doing 100%. I don't get it. I know Kirk Cousins came out and said that he hadn't been hit, so he was excited to get hit. So maybe when Kirk Cousins was actually feeling the pressure of TJ Watt and the Steelers defense for the first time, he got a little shaky. Kirk Cousins looked really bad in his performance. I mean, we can go over to the box scores now. Kirk Cousins got outperformed by Justin Fields in every metric possible. Justin Fields had more completions. Justin Fields had a better completion percentage. Justin Fields had more yards, had more average per throw. I guess Kirk Cousins had 1 touchdown pass. Fields didn't have any touchdowns, but the Steelers as a whole had no touchdowns and still beat the Falcons 18-10. Fields also had a better QBR and a better rating. Kirk Cousins looked terrible. Absolutely terrible. Bijan Robinson was alright. 3.8 yards per carry is okay, I guess. Bijan Robinson was really good in the passing game for us. He eclipsed over 100 yards, and he's the only real good thing I can say about this offense. Ray McLeod, I guess, 4 catches for 52 yards. He did all right. But let's look at our big boy guys, right? Pitts and Drake London. Kyle Pitts, 3 catches, 26 yards. Drake London, 2 catches for 15 yards. They didn't even eclipse 50 yards. That's 41 yards. 5 catches for 41 yards for our 2 guys that Kirk Cousins has been hyping up and saying are our elite guys. These are supposed to be the guys that are supposed to have amazing seasons. Yes, Pitts had a touchdown pass, but it was on broken coverage. Kyle Pitts was literally wide open for in the end zone because no one covered him. Any one of you guys watching would have had a touchdown on this play. I mean, if you can catch. If you would have caught the ball, yes. That is a difficult thing to do. People don't realize that. But it was broken coverage. No one covered him. If you would have ran the route, you would have been wide open yourself. And just, like I said, offensively, at halftime, it was 10-9. You know what? I was feeling good. Like, there was definitely some things I didn't like. Didn't like that interception, but we just came off a touchdown drive. We already had a field goal. I was thinking, all right, things are going to be good. And then, like I said, on our first drive in the second half, we were driving, just picked up a key 4th down, and then a fumble. Oh, look it. TJ Watt. Let's actually watch this fumble here, right? As you can see here, Motion Man just gets hit. TJ Watt had been absolutely destroying Caleb McGarry. And I'm not too worried about that because it is TJ Watt. He is a top 3 best edge rusher in the league. Some would even say he's number 1. I mean, it's him, Garrett, and Parsons, right? Those are the 3 guys. And any right tackle is going to have issues, man. Any right tackle is going to have issues. Caleb McGarry probably had more issues than he should have. But, I mean, it's TJ Watt. My biggest issue is the Falcons never tried to help him. Or when they did, it didn't happen at all. Kyle Pitts multiple times lined up on that side and didn't give a crap. And that's a big issue that I'm starting to have with Kyle Pitts. He gives no effort on blocking. Kyle Pitts could not give a crap while blocking. And while, yes, he is more of a receiving tight end, dude still has to give an effort. If he was just straight up bad at blocking, that's one thing. If he couldn't block, that's a completely different story. He doesn't even try. He goes, It gives no effort when trying to block TJ Watt on some of these plays. And that's the thing that really bugs me. Someone needs to get in his face and be like, dude, you were a 4th overall pick. You're supposed to be the unicorn. Fucking block. I don't know, man. Like, Kyle Pitts is just really starting to piss me off. And at this point, man, I think if we continue to have a bad season and are like 2-5 at the trade deadline, I think we need to trade Kyle Pitts. I'm being so serious when I say that. Trade him for a 2nd round pick. Yes, we used the 4th overall pick on him. It's clearly not working out. I would totally trade Kyle Pitts for a 2nd. Or if we wanted to do a 2nd and then plus a late round pick swap, like a 2nd and a 5th for Kyle Pitts and a 6th. I think that's a fair trade to a tight end needy team. Like, I'm thinking off the top of my head, the Jets. I'm sure the Jets would love another weapon there with Aaron Rodgers for Kyle Pitts. Honestly, like I said, I think if we're doing bad and Pitts isn't improving, trade him for a 2nd round pick. I don't know if anyone else has an issue with that, but that's honestly what I'm thinking. So now that we've gone over the offense, I want to go over the defense here. Because like I said, while our defense wasn't bad by any means, only held the Steelers to 18 points, our defense also didn't play that good as well. You see 18 points, you think, oh, that's not too bad. Our defense didn't do good either. We had 2 sacks. One of those was just all Grady Jarrett. Grady Jarrett literally block shed through 2 guys on the interior and got a clean sack. One of those was 100% all Grady Jarrett. And the second sack was a combo between Judon and Jarrett, where Justin Fields definitely held on the ball for too long, tried to make a play happen. It was a good play on both ends. It wasn't all the defense. It was 50-50. 50% Justin Fields trying to make something happen, and 50% our defense making a really good play. But nonetheless, still a sack, half combo between Garrett and Judon. There is some big things that I would like to point out, and it's the fact that the Steelers had more yards on us. It says here passing was pretty even if you account the sacks. We technically had more passing yards, but they had 1 more than us. It doesn't really matter. Passing was the same, but the Steelers were kind of just running the ball down our throats. And we were doing a great job of stopping it once they already were in field goal range. We looked at the Falcons drives, but like I said, if we look at the Steelers drive, they also had 4 drives in the first half that went field goal, punt, field goal. In the second half, they had 6 drives, which went punt, field goal. Great fourth down stop by our guys, which the Steelers honestly should have just gone for a field goal, but great stop. Then punt, field goal. So the Steelers had 10 drives, and 6 of them resulted in field goals. 3 of them resulted in punts, and then 1 of them, we had a great fourth down stop. But honestly, the Steelers should have just gone for a field goal on this drive. They were in field goal range. But you have to still say we did a great job on that fourth down. But we let them march all the way down to like our 10-yard line on that drive. So what I'm basically saying is we had 7 drives where we allowed them to have the opportunity to score points, and we only had 3 drives where we actually stopped them. And 7 for 10 is not good. Only forcing them to punt on 3 drives, and like I said, no turnovers is a big thing as well. It's not like our defense did us any favors. It's not like our defense came up with a big turnover to shift momentum, unlike the Steelers' defense that had 3 turnovers, and one of them even put them in Falcons range. Sorry, I'm saying like in the Falcons territory. As you can see here, this interception that they got was on our own 39. So the Steelers literally were able to start the ball off at midfield. Then the fumble got the Steelers at the 39. And this interception here, which resulted in a field goal, got the Steelers to start at the Steelers 47. So the Steelers were getting 3 possessions basically at the start of midfield because of their turnovers, where we were having to start all of our possessions at the 30-yard line, 20-yard line, depending on where it was. We were a lot farther back at the start of our possessions than the Steelers. Like I said, I'm not mad at our defensive performance. I would arguably take this in every single game because, like I said, at the end of the day, our defense did only allow 18 points, which is great. Like I said, no turnovers kind of sucks. The fact that we are still allowing the Steelers to go down and have long drives that result in field goals so that their defense can be rested up, not the greatest in the world. If you see time of possession, they dominated us. 35 minutes to 24 minutes. They had 10 more minutes of possession. That's 10 more minutes that their defense gets rest. So, like I said, while it's not great, it's not terrible. And I mean, hell, if our offense could score more than 18 points, which they should be able to with all of our weapons, you would gladly take this defense, right? But that's not what happened. But again, also, this was the Steelers' offense with their backup quarterback scoring 18 points on us, where the Steelers had a shaky offensive line that had injuries on it too, and besides George Pickens and Pat Freiermuth, they have no one else to throw the ball to, so while it is 18 points, this is the Steelers' offense as well. So like I said, taking all that into account, the defense was okay, but the offense was terrible, and I gotta say, I'm actually really worried. After seeing this game, I'm really worried for the rest of the season because we're going to start off 0-3. We play the Eagles and the Chiefs back-to-back. Those are back-to-back L's right there. And then after that, we have 3 straight divisional games between the Saints, the Bucks, and the Panthers. And it's like, while I think we should at least go 2-3 in that stretch, we'll definitely beat the Panthers, and we'll probably split with the Saints and the Bucks. We could lose both those games. With how we played today, if we played today against the Saints and the Bucks, we're losing. I hope you realize that. If we play how we did today against the Saints and the Bucks, we're losing those games. And the fact that we have back-to-back games against the Eagles and the Chiefs is really concerning to me because it's not the odds of us getting better. It's not like we're going to play a bad team and things are going to click. We're going to get our mouths punched immediately and have to punch back, and we're going to trial by fire, you know? So who knows, maybe this Atlanta Falcons team can really step up in the trial by fire, and then we just look great the rest of the season. But I would say more realistically, we get smoked by the Eagles and the Chiefs, and then it's like, oh crap, we're now 0-3 having to play the Saints. You know, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. Like I said, I think we go 2-3 in that stretch of divisional games, but I mean, after starting 0-3, it's going to be tough. It's really going to be tough. Falcons fans just act like you can start off 0-3 and just shake that off. And It's rare. Like the Packers did it a couple years ago. I think the Bengals did too. But two anomalies. Do you really think that we are the Packers with Aaron Rodgers or the Bengals with Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase? No, we're the Falcons with a Kirk Cousins who looked very rusty. So we'll see. We'll see, man. Like I said, I'm very scared for this team, honestly. This was definitely not the start I wanted. We were favorites. We were supposed to win this game, and we went out and laid an absolute stinker of a game. So I'm scared. I'm really scared. Yes, it's only week 1, but this is just as bad as a week 1 as you could ask, losing to the Steelers by 8 with their backup quarterback. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. As always, leave comments down below if you agree or disagree with what I have to say in this video, and peace out.